Greetings and good vibes. How are you? First and foremost, welcome. Glad to have you at Structure. I am going to personally give you a continuation and a dope, kind of like off the cuff uh, lesson for establishing a trademark. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a trademark attorney, so this is just mainly me giving you expertise based off of the multiple trademarks that I have done for my companies. First, start with a comparable. And I'm going to talk to you about why it's important to have your trademark, why it's important to get your trademark now as you're starting and building a business, as opposed to later on when you get a lot of notoriety in your class and your field and all that, and you run into a lot of roadblocks later on. So let me make sure that we lock in here. All right, so this is the website here called uspto.gov. So this is United States Patent and Trademark Office. This is the creme de la creme, the home for every single trademark that you can find that every company has in the United States of America. This is what we talked about, where the trademark covers you for 10 years in your specific class and space. So we're going to go over how to find your trademark. So we just scroll down here to have trademarks here, and we have get it started, application process, and maintaining a trademark registration. I will not go over all of these particular drop downs, just a few that I would strongly recommend for you to get familiar with as you start your trademark application and you make this a very integral part of your business. So you have your trademark basics here, which tells you like the overarching view of basically what a trademark is. And search our trademark database. This is very important because if anybody has your business's name in your class, you can't use it for your trademark. If they have it and it's a separate class, which is what we'll get to in a bit, you can still have the trademark for your specific class. And these are going to be the forms to keep a registration alive, forms to file, if you have to transfer ownership of your business, all that stuff over here. So let's look at trademark basics. Trademark basics. So this shows you your application, examination, publication, and registration. What are those 4 steps? Those are the 4 steps of when you submit your application, when a trademark attorney that's appointed by the USPTO examines everything in your application, and you receive a publication for your trademark if it's approved. And once you get your registration, it is public record for any and everybody to look up their trademark, which is a good thing, right? Which is why we talked about having a separate address on your trademark from any other thing that can be viewed as personal, because you don't want for nobody to be crazy and look up your stuff, right? So you want to make sure you have registration good there. So scroll here, you're going to see learning the essentials. So what is a trademark? The differences between trademark, patent, and copyright. For this particular video, we're going to talk straight about trademarks. And give you examples, the scope of protection, basically what is going to be protected with your specific trademark. Nobody can bite your style in your class or nothing crazy like that. Nobody can duplicate it. This is where cease and desist letters and all that stuff come in. That's all steps. So that goes there. So strong trademark, why register your trademark, and online trademark tools. So understanding the process. Do you need an attorney? Typically, in my area of expertise, if you are trademarking multiple classes, like say if you have a name and you want to talk about doing a trademark for early child care, and then you want to do that same particular name for something random like plants, right? You would have to ensure that you have a trademark for both. So that's where an attorney would definitely come into play, because they're going to look up everything, make sure that you don't have any things you can run into on the back end regarding any opposition, because that's a key component for when you're filing your trademark application as well. So you want to keep that in mind. So when you prepare to file, this is where searching for similar trademarks are important. The application requirements, how much does it cost, the filing basis, goods and services, all of those things matter. So let's look at what is a trademark. right? So the word trademark can refer to both trademarks and service marks. A trademark is used for goods, while a service mark is used for services. So a trademark identifies the source of your goods or services, provides legal protection for your brand, and helps you guard against counterfeiting and fraud. So anytime that you see anything with any company that has dupes, that has things that directly impact that company's growth, outreach, area of confusion to the general public, if it's trademark, they can get sued. Their business can end, right? So we talked about a common misconception, right? Having a trademark means you legally own a particular word or phrase and can prevent others from using it. However, you don't have rights to the word or phrase in general, only to how that word or phrase is used with your specific goods or services. That's why we talk a lot about class, right? So if you have a trademark for early childhood, anything foster home, anything of that regard, if anybody tries to use your specific name in that specific field, that's where this comes into play. Right. So let's go back here and we'll go over how much does it cost. The base application fee for each class of goods that you include in your application is $350. Trust me, it is a valid investment. For example, you might have a clothing line of golf shirts, dress shirts, and t-shirts. All of those fall underneath a specific class we just talked about, right? I'm going to hone in on that while we do this video, right? These all fall under one class, so your base application filing fee would be $350 for the one class. However, if you also provide custom t-shirt printing services and you have goods and services in two different international classes, in that case, your base application fee would be $700. That's $350 for each class. That's why I brought up the example of having early childhood, foster home, and then something completely different like plants, right? So that would be $350 for each class. So you want to make sure that one, you have a great idea as to what you want to do for the next 10 years with that specific name, right? So we can look up separate classes, look up separate things. If it's going to fall underneath one class, it's going to be completely separate, all that good stuff. So that's where this information comes into play. So I want to make sure that you got all that information regarding how much it costs, regarding the importance of it, and we're going to build from there. Any questions? Let me know. Peace and love.